It's 5 a.m. Your alarm explodes into the darkness, and for a split second, your whole life balances on a choice: comfort or commitment. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn. Maybe you stare at the ceiling, your mind foggy, debating. Maybe you hear that sly little voice. Just 5 more minutes. But here's the hidden truth. Those tiny choices are not so tiny. They're the blueprints for your future. You see, comfort has a sweet voice. It whispers, rest, scroll, snack. You've earned it. But comfort never tells you the price. The fog that creeps in, the day that slips by, the silent regret at midnight. Discipline, on the other hand, speaks quietly. It never begs. It just waits for you to listen. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. Let's get real. Discipline isn't some superhero power. It's built in the dark, in silence, when nobody's watching and the world couldn't care less. Think about David Goggins. Once bullied, overweight, the last to finish anything. Nobody was cheering when he ran at 3 a.m. But every lap, every push-up, every time he said no to comfort and yes to pain, he was sculpting something stronger than muscle. He was forging resolve, a spirit that doesn't quit at 40% or even at 100%. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Marie Forleo. Most people will never feel that switch flip. They'll live and die in the soft cage of maybe tomorrow. Not you. Because you're here, reading this, wanting more. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, wasn't born with a golden ticket. He was cut from the Canadian Football League, broke, lost. But he built a new routine before the sun rose, sweat pouring, dreams on the line. He says it straight. It's not about talent, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. So here's the question. What are you building in the dark? What quiet promises are you keeping when no one's applauding? Will Smith said, "I've never viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. It's not about who's loudest when the cameras roll. It's about who's working when the world's asleep." Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. John C. Maxwell. Let's talk about what happens if you don't act. No discipline? You drift. You wake up and the day feels flat, lifeless, stuck on repeat. You grab your phone, scroll, snack, snooze. Just once, you say. But just once stacks up fast. A week, a month, a year later, you're in the same place. Health slips. Opportunities fade. Your own reflection feels unfamiliar. Now, here's the science part. Don't worry, it's not a lecture. Every time you make a hard choice, your brain rewires. It literally carves new paths. So next time, discipline is a little easier. Think of it like walking through tall grass. First time, it's tough. But if you walk the path every day, soon there's a trail. Do it enough, and you won't even have to think, you'll just move. First, we form habits, then they form us. Conquer your bad habits, or they'll conquer you. Rob Gilbert. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Your brain can change at any age if you keep showing up. So what's the trick? No lists, no magic formula. Just this. Choose one thing today. Maybe it's getting out of bed when you say you will. Maybe it's a glass of water instead of soda. Maybe it's a page in your journal, or 10 honest minutes with your goals. Discipline is the refining fire by which talent becomes ability. Roy L. Smith. Forget about being perfect. Forget about streaks. Ask yourself, what's the next right thing? And do that. You don't need to leap out of bed and run a marathon. You just need to take the first step, and then another. Look around you. The world is full of people waiting for a sign, for motivation to knock on their door. But legends don't wait. They start. They stumble. They keep going. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Jim Rohn. You might wonder, isn't this lonely? Yes, sometimes it is. Discipline is often a solo journey. But here's the beauty. Every time you keep your word, you build self-respect. And that self-respect becomes your best friend, your silent cheering section. Comfort is the easy choice, but comfort is expensive. Every time you choose it, you pay with lost time, lost potential, lost self-belief. Your level of success is determined by your level of discipline and perseverance. Unknown. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's about choosing your future over your feelings. You want to know a secret most people miss? Motivation fades, but discipline, when you practice it, even imperfectly, becomes a habit that will save you on the hardest days. Through discipline comes freedom. Jocko Willink. You ever notice how the world loves an overnight success? It's funny, because overnight success is always a highlight reel. Nobody shares the nights you almost quit, the mornings you started over. The spotlight finds those who kept showing up in the dark. Maybe you're thinking, I've tried before. I always mess up. Good. That means you're in the arena. Champions miss workouts, flunk tests, break promises, but what makes them different is this. They don't let failure have the last word. Let's shift from never fail to never quit. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs resilient ones. Science says every setback is a signal. Each time you fall off, your brain is learning what doesn't work. If you get up and try again, the lesson sticks. Here's a truth the world hides. Discipline is contagious. When you keep your word to yourself, others notice, even if nobody says a thing. Your quiet actions light the way for someone else. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Jim Rohn. Let's be honest, though. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days you will quit. But quitting for a day isn't the same as quitting forever. The only way you truly fail is if you don't start again. So, what about the brain science? Your mind loves patterns. If your pattern is hitting snooze, it'll keep choosing that. But the first day you rise on the alarm, you plant a new pattern. Repeat that, and your brain shifts its loyalty from comfort to growth. Stanford's B.J. Fogg calls this the tiny habits effect. Don't aim for a life overhaul, aim for one tiny, winnable action. It's not sexy, but it's unstoppable. You might be tempted to wait for everything to line up, perfect time, perfect plan, perfect mood. Forget it. Start where you are. Start messy. The magic isn't in getting it right, it's in getting it done. Maybe your comfort zone is soft, safe, and familiar. But if you zoom out, you'll see the invisible bars growing tighter every day. One more skipped workout. One more, I'll do it tomorrow. And suddenly, you can't remember the last time you felt truly proud. Flip the script. Ask yourself, what would the disciplined version of me do right now? Do that, even if it's small, even if it feels silly. Here's a moment for you. Pause and really feel it. Picture yourself 1 year from today, looking back on every tiny, honest promise you kept. Imagine the strength in your stride, the clarity in your mind, the pride that no one can take from you. Discipline is the silent architect of destiny. Unknown. Discipline isn't about grinding until you break. It's about building a rhythm that supports your goals, day in and day out. Try this for 7 days. Pick one promise each morning and keep it. Don't worry about streaks, just show up. At the end of the week, reflect. How do you feel? Not just in your body, but in your spirit, in your self-respect. If you complete the week, come back and comment what changed. If you stumble, share that too. Every honest attempt inspires someone. If you stumble, remember, you are not alone. Millions of people struggle with discipline. What sets you apart is that you're choosing to act, even when it's hard. This is how legacies are built: one choice, one action, one ordinary moment turned into progress. Are you ready to show yourself what you're made of?